Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani and this is the video number 85, and in this video I am going to tell you about again purification of the colloidal solution and properties of the colloidal solution. So let us start. Purification of the colloidal solution. Colloidal solution, whenever we prepared so excessive amount of the electrolyte and other some insoluble impurities, while the presence of the traces of the electrolytes is essential for the stability of the colloidal solution, but large quantities coagulate it. Okay, so it is necessary to reduce the concentration of these soluble impurities. So we add impurities to a requisite minimum. So the process used for reducing the amount of impurities to a requisite minimum is known as purification of the colloidal solution. Okay, so there are three methods here given: dialysis, electrodialysis and ultrafiltration. Dialysis, that is means here you see this is the beaker and this is the in beaker see water, and in water dialysis membrane type of bottle, and in this dialysis membrane salt particles, that is means colloid, and under inside the crystalloids. Okay, it is a salt particles. So water plus crystalloid. Okay, so see in this method removing a dissolved substance from a colloidal solution by means of the diffusion, because diffusion process, because outside the water, so diffusion process through a dialysis member, suitable membrane, and this membrane is known as dialysis membrane. Okay, so the particles in a true solution can pass through in true solution, that is means normal solution. So particles in a true solution can pass through animal membrane like bladder also we have to say, otherwise parchment paper, cellophane sheet, but not the colloidal particles. So which we have to use in the colloidal. Okay, so it is known as dialyzer. The apparatus used for this purpose is called dialyzer and it is used for colloidal particles. Okay, so a bag of the suitable membrane containing the colloidal solution is suspended in the solid vessel. Okay, and through which fresh water is continuously flowing. Okay, and the outer part water and the pure colloidal solution is left behind. Okay, so this process is known as dialysis. Then second method is electrodialysis. Electrodialysis only for here same dialysis method. We have to use dialysis membrane inside the salt particles, outside the water. Okay, but in the beaker we have to use electrode. Okay, because the process of the dialysis is slow, quite slow, so we have to made faster by applying the electric field. And if the dissolved substance in the impure colloidal solution is only an electrolyte, and this process named is electrodialysis. Both side electrode attached, anode and cathode. Okay, so the colloidal solution is placed in a bag, suitable membrane, and while pure water outside, and electrodes are fitted in the compartment. Okay, and the ions in the colloidal solution migrate out to the opposite end, negative ion going to the anode side and positive ion going to the cathode side. Okay, so this method is electrodialysis. Third method is ultrafiltration, and ultrafiltration is the process of the separating the colloidal particles from the solvent and solute present in the colloidal solution. Okay, so that is means separate the solute and solvent. Okay, ultrafiltration, that is means separating the colloidal particles from the solvent otherwise solute. So in solvent and solute, colloidal particles if soluble, so we have to separate the colloidal particles from solvent and solute. So it is known as ultrafiltration method. And by specially prepared, we have to use filters which are permeable to all substance except the colloidal particles. Colloidal particles can pass through ordinary filter paper because the pores are too large, and the size by impregnating with colloidal solution to stop the flow of colloidal particle. So the usually collodion we a 4% solution of nitrocellulose in a mixture of the alcohol ether. Okay, alcohol ether mixture, nitro solution, 4% of solution of nitro solution, it is a known as collodion. Okay, so with collodion solution to stop the flow of the colloidal particles. An ultrafilter paper may be prepared by the soaking of the filter paper in a colloidal solution, and then again hardening by formaldehyde, and then finally drying. So this paper form for ultrafiltration method. And by using ultrafilter paper, the colloidal particles are separated from rest of the materials, but it is a slow process. And to speed up the process, we have to use pressure, otherwise suction is applied. Okay, and the colloidal particles left on the ultrafilter paper, and then others stirred it and with fresh dispersal medium, and then after get a pure colloidal solution. So in ultrafiltration method, we have to use a special type of ultrafilter paper, okay, in a collodion solution. Then properties of the colloidal solution. First properties is colligative properties. Whenever colloidal particles bigger aggregate means in the group wise. So number of the particles in a colloidal solution is comparatively true solution small. Okay, so we have to use pressure, see value of colligative properties like osmotic pressure, lowering in vapor pressure, depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point are small order comparison to the value of the by true solution at the same concentration. Okay, because it is a bigger aggregate and the number of particles small comparison than true solution. This is the first properties of the colloidal solution. Then second is Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect, here you see, if the homogeneous solution placed in the dark, we take homogeneous solution here, is dark in the observed in the direction of the light, here light source. Okay, so this is the homogeneous solution. So whenever if a homogeneous solution placed in the dark and is observed in the direction of light, so it appears clear. Here you see. If it is observed from a direction at a right angle to the direction of to the direction of the light beam, so it appears perfectly dark. So colloidal solution viewed in the same way may also appear clear or translucent by transmitted light, but they show mild to strong opalescences. But when viewed a right angle to pass to the light, so the path of the beam is illuminated. See, so illuminated a bluish light, and this effect was first observed by Faraday, then after detail wise Tyndall, and this is according to the, because detail wise explained by Tyndall, so this effect is known as Tyndall effect. And see here, bright cone of the light, by light, this is the cone is formed, it is known as Tyndall cone. Okay, and this effect reason colloidal particles scatter light, see light falling down in the solution and then scattered. Okay, so in the all direction in the space. Okay, and scattering of the light represent the path of the beam in the colloidal dispersion. Okay, and this effect can be observed during the projection of the picture in the cinema hall. Okay, and due to the scattering of the light by dust and smoke particles present there, and it is also observed whenever two conditions are satisfied. First, the diameter of the dispersed phase is not much smaller than wavelength of the light used, And then second, refractive indices of the dispersed phase and dispersion medium differ greatly in magnitude. So these two conditions whenever applied, first diameter of the dispersed particles not a much smaller than the wavelength of the light, and then second, refractive indices of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium differ greatly in the magnitude. Then Tyndall effect is used to difference between a colloidal and true solution. Okay, because Tyndall effect represent by colloid and true solution it is not represent. So this is the main differentiate between colloidal and true solution. Then in 1903, Zsigmondy in 1903 used Tyndall effect to set up an apparatus known as ultra microscope. Okay, and whenever intense beam of light is focused on the colloidal solution contained in glass beam vessel, so focus of the light is observed with a microscope at a right angle to the beam. See, this way, and it is observed by apparatus. See, this Tyndall effect to set up, and the apparatus it is known as ultra microscope because intense beam of light is focused on the colloidal solution and contained in the glass vessel. So the focus of the light is then observed with a microscope at a right angle to the beam. So individual colloidal particles appears as a bright stars against a dark background. So ultra microscope does not render the actual colloidal particles visible, but only observe the light scattered by them. So ultra microscope does not provide any information about size particles and the shape of the colloidal particles. It is only for observed light scattered by the colloidal solution. Okay, then third property is color. The color of the colloidal solution depend on the wavelength of the light scattered by the dispersed particles, and it is depend on the wavelength of the light depends on the size and nature of the particle. Then example, a mixture of the milk and water appears blue when viewed for the reflect light and red, and whenever viewed by the transmitted light finest like gold sold in color. As the size of the particles increase and it appears purple, then blue, and finally golden. Okay, so it represent color properties. Okay, then fourth, Brownian movement, this way, zigzag way. So Brownian movement, when colloidal solution are viewed under a powerful microscope, ultra microscope, so it is state of continuous zigzag motion and all over the field of view. And this motion, Brownian movement, first observed by British botanist Robert Brown. So its name according Robert Brown name is Brownian movement. Okay, and it is the independent of the nature of the colloid but depends on the size of the particles, viscosity of the solution. Okay, and but smaller the size, lesser the viscosity, so faster is the motion. Okay, if size maximum, viscosity maximum, so motion is slow. Okay, and Brownian moment has been also explained to be due to the unbalanced bombardment of the particle, that means collision way, by the molecules of the dispersion medium. Okay, and it is also represent, it has a steering effect whenever does not permit the particles to settle, so it is responsible for the stability of the source. Okay, next property, charge on colloidal particles. So charged on the colloidal particles, that is means two types of salt, positively charged salt and second is negatively charged salt. Positively charged colloidal particles always carries an electric charge. Okay, and it is the same on all the particles in colloidal solution, nature of the charge, either positive or either negative. Okay, so positive, that is means example hydrated metallic oxide like alumina Al2O3.XH2O, chromium oxide, ferric oxide, basic dye stuffs, methylene blue salt, hemoglobin blood oxide, titanium oxide. So these are positively charged salt. Negatively charged salt like metal, metallic sulfide, acid dyestuffs like eosine, Congo red salts, and salts of starch, gum, gelatin, clay, and charcoal. So these are negatively charged. Okay. So this charge on colloidal particles in detail wise I explain in the next video. Thank you so much.